that. I think it was my headset giving a little glitch. Om Shanti and welcome to another afternoon session where we are dealing with our spiritual deficiencies and we are going to tackle them one at a time. We went through a beautiful meditation conducted just before this by Sister Pallavi, and it was beautiful. Put us all at ease. Wishing all our brothers on this class a happy Father's Day. And don't forget to wish happy Father's Day also to our spiritual father, our divine father, our supreme father. My name is Geeta, and I will be conducting today's session with all of you. Sister Meghna has been conducting these classes in the past. She had a commitment, so she's not available today, but that gives me a wonderful opportunity to spend time with all of us. We will make this session as interactive as possible. Thank you. Thank you so much for welcoming all the wonderful messages that are coming in. I can increase my voice a bit more if that helps. And let me know in chat if the volume is still very low. Am I audible to everybody now?
Yes, we were able to hear you, Geeta.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you so much. We are going to tackle earlier than in the previous 2 Sundays, we listened to 2 wonderful deficiencies. One was desire and one was anger. And today we are going to actually tackle another one, and that's called carelessness and laziness. Bear with me 1 second. I do think my laptop is acting up a little bit on me today, but I'm going to be right back where I can screen share what I wanted to present with all of you today. And while I'm working on that, how was everybody's weekend so far? Has everybody been able to spend time with family and take care of children? I know some of the kids have started their summer session. Amazing with Baba's blessing. Yes, true, Manpreet Bhai. We are all able to say that. Very happy. Yes, Malini, that's so true. Yes, stay happy, stay content, and soak in whatever is coming your way. Today, the weather has been awesome. We had some fun time. We had some fun time with some friends yesterday on the beach, and we were able to celebrate Father's Day on the beach. So it was fun. All the beautiful souls in the male bodies were very appreciative of the way we celebrated for them. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to screen share, and it's still giving me a little bit of problem. Let me just try to fix that out. I may have to rejoin, or are you able to see my screen, everybody?
Yes, we are.
Okay, there we go. Okay, if everybody is able to see the screen, let's continue the class today. This is the topic we are all going to talk about. It's not a new topic. This is what we tell our kids and other people, but usually not ourselves. But let's look at it from a different perspective, because like we know, all changes start with us. So let's take a look at what is this deficiency? What does this deficiency imply? How does it affect us? Where does it take us, or where does it not let us go. So let's begin with, before we get into anything serious, let the mind get a signal that it needs to be very, very still. And in order for the mind to be very, very still, let's actually sit for a couple of minutes together as a team, as a wonderful group on this wonderful Father's Day weekend, and just let our mind completely declutter and relax from whatever it was doing 5 minutes ago, just so that we can get into a mood to listen in to what we are trying to do in this class today. Just sit with a very nice, relaxed, comfortable, peaceful, happy, free from any worries. Just imagine a very big swimming pool. And on that swimming pool, there is a giant lotus floating. And you keep close attention to how the lotus is swaying from side to side, gently as the wind is settling down. A deep breath in and let it out slowly. And take a deep breath in again. And let it out again. And I want you to visualize yourself seated on this lotus right now. Your weight is very light because your mind is very light. Free of any thoughts, free of anything that will preoccupy your mind. You just have one purpose today. You just want to sit comfortably on the lotus and experience the cool wind around you. And tell yourself, I make this commitment today to myself to not let any thoughts come in my mind for the next 45 minutes. I signal my mind to relax. And I experience my muscles loosening and the tension on my shoulders relaxing. I am not distracted by any sounds around me now. I visualize a very powerful sun above my head and the strong rays of positive, loveful, peaceful rays of a very divine energy start filling my entire body. Right from the tip of my head to the bottom of my feet. My entire body is light, is purified, is energized, and I'm now ready to withdraw my mind from everything around me and participate in today's session. And I start slowly opening my eyes if they were closed. And I start coming back in my energy form, back in my body, in the comfortable place that I sit to continue now. Thank you, everyone, for joining me for this small experience. I know some of you have mentioned that my audio gets a little low at times. I will try to keep up with it, but if you think I'm not audible or if I'm getting too slow, definitely reach out and chat and let me know. And I'll try to fix it right away. Once again, welcome to today's session. And let's begin taking a look at the topic today. Since we're talking about a deficiency called carelessness and laziness, it's not new to us that we've seen some of these symptoms in the past, but it does not hurt to take a look at it again as a group. What do most people that have these deficiencies sound like? They will usually sound very close to some of these things written up here. But I'd like to see what else you participants can come up with. What are some of the symptoms that a person that has deficiency like carelessness and laziness demonstrate? Anybody wants to participate with what the symptoms could look like? Feeling lack of energy. Yes, making excuses to not having done something. Absolutely. They're always making excuses. They're blaming others. Yes, this is a very big one, actually. They're always blaming others. They're negative. Yes, so true. They lack spirituality. Yes, for sure. They do. My sound is echoing. I wonder why. I'm gonna try and fix it one more time, my sound. And they have no sense of accountability. Yes, that's a big one. And they do not set higher standards for themselves. That is also so true. They fear, and that's why they are being careless and lazy. Okay, that's so true. Yes, most of these, they're finding faults and blaming others. Yes, that's true. That's so, so true. They are always trying to find ways to explain why they are being lazy and why they're being careless, which actually means that they know they are being careless, right? Yes, they are waiting for some fortune to shine on them. Yeah, I wish it was that simple, right? But it's not. We all know what we do, and we all are aware of what we do. Is it right or is it wrong? And sometimes we like to hide behind some of these things by blaming others, not taking responsibility, and other physical symptoms like uh, yeah, you're saying, Nalini, that they are not trusting. That's why they just like to be careless and lazy. Probably, I would think also the other way around. They cannot be trusted because they are not keeping up to their reliability score, right? These are the set of people that usually, including some of us, so let me not say people means third party, including some of us, at times, we all have those symptoms. If we come from a place of ownership, if we come from a place of responsibility, if we come from a place of taking accountability, then people will not hear us say things like, oh, just let's do what we're doing. We know we're doing the right thing, or don't tell me what to do because I'll get it done one way or the other. It doesn't have to be right now, it can be later. These are the same set of people that do not value uh, others and themselves. Yes, and because they're so careless, uh, they sometimes do not like being told what to do, but that's the catch-22 situation. If you're not driven, you can actually cause harm to yourself and to people around you because they rely on you for certain things that are done within the family, certain things that are done within the work culture. They, with this deficiency, most definitely you will start seeing symptoms like they have a very careless attitude. Mind you, careless is a different word than carefree. I've heard people actually interchange these two words and say, oh, I'm just a carefree bird, so I know when to do things. I don't like to follow too many disciplines. I don't like rules. I don't like to be boxed in. I'm a free thinker. I'm a free spirited person. Those are positive things, but they're slightly different from being careless. So when we don't pay close attention to where our mind is taking us, where our habits are taking us, we tend to become careless and we tend to become lazy rather than carefree and a smart thinker. And these are the set of uh, habits that actually pull us down. And before we realize it, we've lost out on a big leap of time, a big portion of our life also sometimes. And they will usually make excuses like, oh, it's just human, it happens. Yes, it happens. And yes, it's okay if you made a mistake and you show signs of not doing it again, but you cannot be seen doing them again and again and again. And very quickly, people will be able to tell if you are doing it just to hide behind excuses, like somebody mentioned earlier, or blame others, like some of you shared, or find reasons not to do it. These are the set of habits that actually not let us fully utilize our potential. And we as smart, intelligent human beings have an abundance of capacity, abundance of scope to learn. We probably are not even using 20% of our full capacity yet. So imagine even within the 20% capacity, if we were using, if we get plagued by deficiencies like carelessness and laziness, how far it's going to pull us down. And I'm going to let you take a quick glance at what's written up on the screen here. Nothing like a rocket science, but some very common statements that you would hear people saying that, oh, what's the hurry? We make it up, we will do it. They're not the set of people that will say, let's do it, let's get it done and over with. Now, moving on to what does this carelessness and laziness actually translate to? I mean, it's sometimes we do not understand what is the effect of that deficiency in us. Like suppose if you had low B12, vitamin B12 deficiency, you immediately start seeing symptoms. You will feel lethargic, you have poor energy, you feel like lying down more often because you get tired and exhausted doing basic things. If we were to look at some of these habits also as spiritual deficiencies very, very closely, we can see what their implications are. And then we can judge for ourselves or gauge for ourselves, are they actually harming us enough to pay attention now? And if we start paying close attention, we will realize not only are they harming us, they're actually harming others as well. Just this one deficiency called carelessness is actually harming us and hurting people around us. And how does it hurt? And what is the gauge to check how is it hurting? It's hurting because we tend to start forgetting things. We start missing deadlines. We start missing commitments. And people might take it very casually. Oh, so what if we missed a commitment? To you, it may not be a big deal, but to the person you made the commitment to could be a big deal. Let me give you an example. Suppose you took your wife and kids or husband and kids, suppose, to shopping. And you told them, why don't you go shop while I go, and because I get bored, I'm actually going to go and watch a movie, and we'll all meet in the food court. So everybody seems happy because it looks like people who want to shop can shop, and then the person who doesn't want to shop can go catch a quick movie. That's fine. And in the course of the movie, now you got completely drawn into the movie, and you picked up some popcorn and a soda as well, and you enjoyed your movie. And now you kind of lost track of time, and now you're slowly walking around and coming to the food court completely with your stomach full, and you completely forgot that you made a commitment to your spouse and to your kids that let's meet in the food court. So the kids got a hope that, oh, we're going to have, we're going to get to eat in the food court. You're very full and you want to rush everybody out of the place, say a mall, and you want to get to the car and maybe get home and sleep. It's a very small slip of commitment, but it's a clear demonstration that you do not value people around you. You do not value commitments. You don't care what happens if you don't keep up your commitments. That's what it sounds like. And it's not a very nice place to be in, especially when others do it to us. We realize how hurtful it can be. We don't pay much attention when we're doing it to others. So just wanted to, kind of list that one out up front. And then of course, there are some other very, very obvious symptoms. We misplace things, car keys, remote controls, our glasses, our wallets. Now you might say, oh, these are very small things. They are, you're right. But these small things add up to a big deficiency called being careless. And that's why we want to pay attention that either you find a spot where you will keep it every day, so you know where to pick it up every day, or when you're placing your item, place it with mindfulness that, okay, this is where I'm going to keep it because this is where I will pick it up from. And do the same at your workplace and do the same in your relationships as well. People who have poor, not poor, people who have deficiency called carelessness and laziness are very easily distracted. They could be distracted even now while listening to the class. That's going to tackle carelessness and laziness. They get distracted very easily for the smallest of things. You cannot hold their attention because they are not being careful. If you split the word careless, it actually gives away the formula. You care less, that's why you're careless. But if you started caring more, then you will be careful. You'll be full of care. And care is nothing but another word for love. Have love for people, love for yourself, love for your commitments, love for your beliefs, love for time, love for values, love for future, love for the outcome of everything you're doing in your life. So when you start leading your life with more carefulness, the chances are you will be less careless. That's what the point I was making here. And because they don't, they're very casual about their interactions with people. They're very casual about what they say, and they're very casual about very easily breaking those commitments, those promises, very important deadlines. They don't like tasks that ask them for discipline. They don't like tasks that seem like, oh my God, it's so time consuming. And these are the set of people that will procrastinate till the tax deadline has come. Then they realize, oh my God, I was supposed to file taxes. And before I filed taxes, I was supposed to collect all this information about, whatever the information you need before filing the taxes. So there is no escape. They think what they will sit down and do is time consuming, but by pushing it further and further and further closer to the deadline, they've actually now multiplied the amount of time it will take to complete the same task. So they're very wasteful with their time. They think they don't like time consuming things, but they're very wasteful with their approach and their time management. And in the end, they end up using way more time and consume way more time to complete the same task had they just done it when it was due, or of course, before it was due. And we will tackle, some of the other deficiencies, and you'll hear some similar ones, but these are also people who suffer from this deficiency do not like to take instructions and carry out instructions. Because If I was intelligent and if somebody told me, Geeta, this needs to be done, and if you do it like this, it'll go easier, but if you do it like this, it'll get complicated, the chances are I would stick to doing like this. But in order to do it like this, step by step, I needed to have a willing ear and an open heart and an open mind. And am I willing to do that when I'm careless? Because I already have an attitude of I don't really care, or I'll do it at my own sweet time. So this deficiency unfortunately starts shutting your ears, shutting your mind, shutting your thoughts, and you're not able to take instructions. When you see that other people have to give instructions to you, actually, that's the first sign that you're not giving instructions to yourself. So if you don't like people giving instructions to you, why bring it to that level? Why not do it without somebody else having to tell you what to do? If you got your life sorted and you knew exactly what you wanted to do from point A to point B, nobody needs to tell you what to do. So if you don't like giving instructions, don't give people a chance to give instructions, because you instruct your own mind. You instruct your own self, saying, this is my life, this is how I will conduct it. So don't let any scope of carelessness put you in a position where other people have to tell you what to do, set rules for you, and instruct you. Carelessness also, because you're very casual and very wasteful with your time, it puts you in a very difficult spot to organize your tasks. You do not have a priority in your mind of what needs to get done in what order. Everything seems important, but not everything is urgent, and not everything that's urgent may be important. So your mind needs to have the stability or the peacefulness or the calmness to differentiate the tasks and organize them in a manner which will best help you. I'm going to share a very short story here with you. It's not actually a story. It's a test given by a teacher to the students in his classroom. So the teacher was trying to communicate organizing time and tasks to the children. And he didn't know how else to explain to them. So what he did is he brought with him in the classroom 3 things and he put it on the desk. He brought big rocks, small pebbles, and sand. And then he gave them all an empty jar and he said, try to fit this in this jar and come back. So all the kids took it home, and somebody tried filling in the sand, then the pebbles, then the rocks. And whatever they could fit, they brought. Whatever they could not fit, they brought it back to the teacher. So different students had different approaches. Somebody did rocks, then pebbles, and then somebody did sand, and then rocks, and then pebbles. So everybody had a different approach to organizing the jar with all the 3 things. And the teacher noticed that not many children came back with all the items he had given them fitted into the jar. So now imagine, how does this apply to us? Imagine in a day, we only have 24 hours. And in those 24 hours, we need to rest ourselves by giving enough sleep, bathe ourselves because we want to be hygienic, give ourselves enough time to for our spiritual practices, meditation, listening to good classes, meditation. Then we also have jobs to do, like a daytime job if you are working, or take care of the house if you are the householder. Take care of kids, exercise, and other activities. Now, everything needs to be fitted in these 24 hours. So imagine the jar is your one day. And the different pebbles, rocks, and sand are the chores in the day that you need to complete. And you all have to fit all of these things in one day, otherwise you have a backlog and carry forward. And that's where the procrastination and not finishing deadline problem starts. So when the teacher explained to the students, the best approach is first fill your jar with the big rocks, which means, in translation, it means in a day, first try to do the most important and the bigger tasks in your day, which have to be done, the critical ones. First finish those. Then fill the jar with pebbles, because the pebbles will find little gaps between the big rocks and fit in. So in between doing your big chores in the day or the more important tasks in the day, do smaller chores where you can still fit in a couple of small errands, small things that you need to do in the day. Then you will notice once all the pebbles and rocks have settled, which means all your big activities have been taken care of, all your smaller errands have been taken care of, you still have little gaps here and there, which can be filled with sand, because the sand will slip in and fit itself in the jar, which means least important things or lesser important things do last. Start your day with doing important things. And I thought of sharing this story because this topic came up of usually when we suffer from carelessness, we have difficulty organizing tasks. So every time I run into a situation, should I do this first or do that first? I remind myself about the rock, pebble, and sand story. And hopefully some of you may be able to use it also in your personal lives. And needless to say, because they cannot organize tasks well, they have difficulty managing their time. We already understood that with the story we just kind of went over. They have difficulty prioritizing for sure, because they don't know whether they should have the fun element of the day first, like start playing video games or doing other smaller things first, and then do the day leave the day open with the more important things. So they have difficulty prioritizing. They also have a huge unwillingness to take responsibility. Now, here is the secret giveaway. Why do you think they have unwillingness to take responsibility? Can anybody kind of put their thoughts out on the chat with this one sentence? Why do you think people who know they have this element of carelessness or laziness, why do you think they have an unwillingness to take responsibility? What do you think? Anybody wants to put out a thought? Yes. Fear of failure. Yes. They lack confidence. Yes. Lack of spirituality. Okay. That's lack of failure, fear of failure, lack of confidence. Yes. Lack of spirituality. How about they are unwilling to take responsibility because they know themselves too well. It's a hard statement, but they know themselves too well. They lack energy, they cannot prioritize, that's true. They do not want to take responsibility because they know what they lack. They know what they lack, but they don't want to fix it. And someone has to tell them the truth. Yes, for sure. And that's when people come up to us and tell us, hey, you got to do it like this and not like this. And sometimes we don't like it, but why give opportunity to others to tell us? Of course, we should be open to taking feedback, but take life head on, like take responsibility. These are the set of people that are unwilling to take responsibility because of all the thoughts you shared. Fear of failure, they don't have the confidence, because they know they're plagued by this deficiency to the extent they cannot even leave the couch. They are stuck to the couch, almost like they have to be peeled away from the couch, bed, remote control, cell phone, social media, or any of such habits that they're stuck to. And if you do not take responsibilities, even in your work culture, you don't get too far. And the same applies to when you don't take responsibilities, even in your personal life, you don't get very far. Yes, they follow the peers network. They're not the leader quality people. You're right. You're right, Melanie. They're not the leader quality. They are usually the sheep mentality that will follow others. They are waiting for others to tell them what to do rather than, or how they just they don't want to apply their own resources of their intelligence, their thoughts. They're just waiting for others to tell them what to do. And because of their unwillingness, these are also the very set of people that will usually not put their hand up to do anything proactively. Actually, sadly so, they don't even proactively do things for themselves. Like even if they knew they suffer from laziness and carelessness, very few of them will proactively come up and talk to somebody and say, I think I need help. I think I need a little motivation. I think I need a little talk. I think I need to share with somebody what I'm going through. I think I'm hurting myself and I think I'm hurting others. So these are the very set of people that will not usually be very proactive. And they're very easy to spot, even within us. When I say them, I mean us included. There are times when we would see ourselves not very helpful to others, not very proactive to others, not willing to take any responsibilities. What could be the root causes? I mean, we all understand there is a deficiency, it's hurting, it's dragging us down. But here are some of the reasons why we still, even after knowing everything, end up being careless and lazy. And not rocket science again. We are all familiar with all of them, but it helps to see them visually on one single slide. When we don't know our own worth, when we don't know the value of ourselves, who are we? Why are we? What are we here to do? Who do we belong to? What can we do? How much potential we have? When we don't understand these things, we tend to be very, very careless. We tend to be very, very lazy about things, taking our own sweet time to do something. Like if you had an hour of beautiful sunshine outside, you could probably sit and relax and be lazy for say 10 minutes, but you could spend the next 15 minutes saying, come on kids, hit the park, let's go and play ball. Or the weather is nice, let's go fly a kite, whatever, or let's go bicycling, or let's go to the beach, or let's go to visit some friends. So when we don't value ourselves, it's but natural we do not value people around us. And sometimes it's our very, very close relations, our children, our spouse, our parents, our brothers and sisters, our neighbors, our workforce, and not a good place to be in, right? And another root cause is when you suffer from this deficiency, you do not understand the concept of time at all. You do not understand how time operates. You have your own clock going on. When it's time for people to wake up and probably do some important things, your body is telling you, okay, stay sleeping, or wake up now, or sleep now, or eat now. So they have very little coordination with how nature works. When the sun is up, usually all of us are up, and when the sun is down, usually all of us are time to relax and go to bed. They do not have this concept. And then because of that, and, like I said, because they don't value themselves, they don't value time, they don't value people around them, and that starts to show signs in the relations they have. A relationship with their child, a relationship with their spouse. These are the two very closest relationships you are put to test on an everyday basis. And if you come from a spot of carelessness because you care less, then you know what the outcome is going to be. And I don't have to tell you that about they are actually very ignorant, or they choose to be ignorant about all the resources around them. I've heard a lot of people tell, oh, I would like to volunteer, I would like to be of value to the community. But you see, I don't have a car. But you see, I don't have time. But you see, I don't have money. But you see, so they're usually, so they're sounding like they want to do something, but they're not fully committed to taking their ownership of doing something. They do not understand the resources they have because they have not taken the time to make a mental note of all the blessings that the universe has blessed them with. A good body, an intelligent mind, a loveful heart, loving and supportive family, great education, good parents, a sound mental, emotional, physical, financial, overall health. They do not understand the resources they have. If you want to do something, you can mobilize any of these resources and come of value to others as well as yourselves. So they hide under the pretext of saying, oh, I don't have the means. I wish I had. For sure, I would have done it. Because they are just finding excuses for not doing things. These people, this deficiency also hurts because you let go of opportunities. You have opportunity, but you're not ready to capitalize on it. You start giving excuses like health. They're very careless about their values. They're very careless about their future. And overall, they're very, very careless about life in general. Yes. Yes, Nalini has been wonderfully active, giving me such wonderful tips on the chat. Thank you so much, Nalini. I really, really appreciate this input. Okay. I know what we are talking today. It doesn't seem like we didn't know it. We all know. Do we still do it? Yes, we still do it. Do we take ownership of it? Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. And I think that's what we're trying to do today. By spending a little bit of time today on a Sunday afternoon, all we're trying to do is just kind of brush up on what we already know. So I'm not coming from a place of newness. I'm just coming from a place of sharing and learning. Well, we all know if there is a deficiency, it definitely damages. What does it damage? It does damage a lot of things that some are obvious, some are not very obvious. But let's take a look together as a team here. Of course, the first one right off the bat, when we are inactive, when we have no willingness to do anything, just stick to the couch, stick to the remote, stick to the TV screen or our cell phones, but naturally we will be inactive and we will have health issues. That's the first big one that is the damage to us. And because it kind of cultivates a habit of procrastination because we want to keep pushing things away farther and farther, our work keeps piling higher and higher. What could have been done in maybe tackling, suppose you wanted to clean a big house and it needed 4 hours for you to clean, but by procrastinating and letting it go more dirty, now the floors are more dirty, the furniture has dust, you'll now probably spend 8 hours cleaning instead of 4 hours because you let it sit. Another very big and personal damage is if you have a purposeless life. You come from a point of void. You come from a place of nothingness because you do not have a purpose in your life. Instead of that, imagine if you could have a purpose in life saying, let me inspire someone before I expire. Let me inspire someone before I expire, including myself, right? Then I will not live my life without purpose, that I have an aim, that I have a goal, and I will not let myself slip into the laziness. I will be very careful about utilizing my resources. I will not be wasteful about my resource. I'll value money. I will value time, and above all, I will value human relations. I will value them so much that I will not let anybody get a sense when they're with me that I care less about them. I care a lot about them. That should be the feeling and the energy people should get when they're around with us, right? So the damage, if we're not careful, is we're wasting for the same thing because we missed the flight, because we were lazy. Now we have to spend more money to get to the same destination, but after spending more time and more money. And like somebody shared earlier, we know where we make errors, and because of that habit of leaving things for last minute, we're increasing the scope of human error. And because we're increasing the scope of human error, things will fail at times. And every time we fail, it's denting our self-esteem, it's denting our self-confidence. So by becoming lazy or becoming careless, we're actually promoting an outcome of low self-esteem. So why let that happen to us? Why would anybody want to be known as a person who does not hold themselves in good self-respect and self-esteem, right? The another very big damage is because you live your life in a lot of repentance and regrets. And you would be like, oh, I wish I had done this earlier. Oh, I wish somebody told me. Oh, I wish somebody corrected me. Oh, I wish, why didn't they tell me I was doing wrong? Why didn't they tell me I was spending too much time on the couch? They did tell you. You were not listening. And when we stop listening, then our conscience is biting us because we know they're telling for our good, but we don't want to listen to them. And when we don't want to listen to them, then when the results come out, then we are in repentance, and that's a very sad situation to be in. You had full control of your life, but now you're living a life full of repentance. And because we didn't kind of prioritize our life properly, or our relationships properly, or our work properly, our future starts to look so bleak, right? Because we're so unsure of our own self and our own capabilities because we did not use our full potential, that we start getting nervous about everything around us. And we start losing another very big value is people cannot trust us. And they look at us as not reliable and not a trustworthy person. So all the important opportunities, I don't call it work, I call it opportunity. All the important opportunities around us actually go to our peers. They don't come to us. They go through the person who's valuing time and is coming from a place of full responsibility. And because then we want to blame that, oh, because of this happened, because of that happened, some of us might even cultivate a habit of not telling an entire truth or blaming others. I mean, of course, having a poor value, like being dishonest or not coming from a place of pure integrity, because you realize you wasted a valuable lifetime. We haven't. We are completely aware of our life. We value life, and that's why we give commitments to programs like these that are often conducted, very, very regularly conducted by the local chapter of the Brahma Kumaris here at Silicon Valley. In fact, today's class was also presented and hosted by BK Milpitas, the Silicon Valley chapter of Brahma Kumaris. The center is now open, and you're all welcome to join our Sunday and Thursday classes and take benefit of some of these valuable information shared, as we call it, on one-on-one basis, and of course on the virtual medium like this one that we're doing today as well. That was a lot of talking we did, but I would like to hear from you if there's anything I could help answer or take on right now before we step into 1 minute of meditation of silence before we break the class today. So if anybody has something that can be addressed in the group and could be of value to you, please go ahead and put it out in the chat, and I will try my best and my most sincere effort to answer it from what I know so far. And that's good. Looks like nobody has many questions because this was a very simpler topic we dealt with. But yes, just be alert. Don't slip into the clause of carelessness and laziness. And with that, I would like to thank everybody for attending today's class. And thank you to Pallavi, Sister Pallavi, for helping us host today's program. Let's sit together for the last minute of meditation. And in your meditation, I would like you to visualize some of your personal habits that are falling into today's topic and that might be hurting and harming yourself and people around you. Okay, so let's sit in meditation for a minute together. And before, oops, looks like I didn't even share with you what the vitamins could be for fixing the deficiency. And I'm going to read this up very quickly for all of us. When we realize our own value, that I'm an eternal, imperishable spiritual energy, just like my Supreme Father, then the chances are I will be less careless. And when we give ourselves the time to check where my thoughts are going, where my actions are going, and when I'm aware that for every action there will be a consequence, then I will be performing my actions very, very carefully. And I'll be more willing either to reflect on those myself or willing to hear it when others give me feedback, and I would be willing to change as well. And when I make the purpose of my life to be an inspiration to myself and to people around me, where I come from a place of I would like to be the leader, setting up examples for others, then you're coming from a place of abundance and and community, and then the chances are you will not be very, very lazy or careless in whatever you do, because you know the purpose of your life is to perform more elevated deeds. All right, together, since we talked so much and heard so much, I'm going to go off video just for a second while we go through this last meditation, and then I will let you get back to your lives with your families. Thank you, everyone. It was my pleasure to spend this afternoon with you, and we will see you again next Sunday. Om Shanti, and have a great rest of your weekend. Om Shanti.
Om Shanti Gita. Are you done?